Today, we're going to talk about drama, lots of drama, because there's a lot of drama going on in the affiliate marketing space and the master resell rate space, which is very closely tied to affiliate marketing because it has a lot of the same principles in the sense that you sell, promote, market products that you didn't create. Now, there's different nuances between the two, which we probably won't go into, but the main purpose of today is to bring our opinion. And that's all it is today. It's our opinion on all the drama going on with affiliates getting kicked out of programs and non-compliance issues and lawsuits and people not violating or violating and not adhering to licensing agreements and master resale rights. There's just a lot to talk about. So we're going to take this opportunity to discuss it. And the reason I think we're doing this is because Andrei and I are both considered leaders in this affiliate and digital marketing space. We both have our own programs and we both hear what's going on from our audience, from our prospective clients, from people who've bought into our programs or other programs. And we want to help really bring some clarity here today because I know if you're listening to this podcast and you're just desperate to make some money online and desperate to figure out digital marketing and affiliate marketing, and you want to do it the right way, then I know that you're probably hearing a lot of noise and you're probably more confused now than when you started. So we're going to try to help you out today and bring some clarity and really be the North Star of what you want to look for and where you want to go so you can be successful, because that's the amazing thing about this business is it gets a little messy at times because it's business. It gets a little crazy at times because there's a lot of people involved. But the bottom line is it's still a great opportunity. So Andre, what do you think? There's going to be a lot to talk about today, huh?
I know. I love these episodes, because we get to share our opinions on all the drama that is going on. But you're 100% right. It's confusing nowadays. I feel like it wasn't as confusing when we first started, a couple, 3, 4 years ago. I feel like it wasn't as confusing. It was like a clear path. You take it, and then either you make it or you don't, right? And then if you don't make it, you look for other opportunity. But now there's just so many ways of making it. So the confusion is there for sure.
Yeah, and to be clear, there's always been 100 million ways to make money online, but the difference is, I think, and I've kind of alluded to this in the past, is there's so many more voices in the space now, and that's where the confusion comes into play. Because I often talk about when I got started in 2012. How did you learn how to make money online? You went to Google, you Googled how do you make money online, and guess what? There were two or three blog posts that you read and you got down to result number five. So there was only a few voices. It was only the big players. It was the Frank Kearns of the world, and there was only one or two voices. So it was pretty clear. If you want to follow this person, then do this. And it was easy to cancel out all the other noise. When TikTok started, I was early to the game. So if you wanted to be successful following the same path that I did, you just listened to me, and a lot of people became very successful. You came onto this space and it was still early. So there's a lot of people who just listened to you, and not everyone was successful, just like not everyone who follows me is successful. But anyone who implemented was exactly right. They either got results or they didn't. And it
Yeah.
was pretty clear. Now, because of the way content is and the way social media is, there's just a lot of voices. The space is growing, and that's the important thing to remember. If you are in this space or thinking about entering this space, first of all, it's a big market, right? Money's in money. So there will always be money in learning how to make money, save money, invest, learn skills that help you grow your business. So now's the best time ever to be in this. I mean, it's just a great thing. For someone who's seen it for the last 12 years, I'm super excited. Like, this is a great time, but you're right. It is confusing because everybody has their opinions. There's so many opinions. And one of the tricks that marketers use is they are very quick to discredit other things or show why that won't work to make their thing look more rosy. And it's just a tactic. So it's to be
Yeah.
expected that
And
this would
that's all
happen.
it is, right? It's just a strategy of marketers that use it. We've seen that a lot actually since we started, we've seen people do that. Some people love doing that type of marketing, that's their passion. You get me? So which is not bad. It's whatever they wanna do, however they wanna send their message. But yeah, I guess we should start with legendary marketer, right? Because
Yeah.
we already had like a couple episodes about them, and we are not bashing them at all. We are actually still we still love that company. We still care about Dave Sharp and everything that he's done for everybody actually, because I feel like he painted the roadways. You get me, for everybody to follow. So
Yeah,
that's a
he
great
did.
thing. The what?
And I just want to be clear how we're coming from this today. So I was about 5 minutes late to getting to this podcast, and that was because I watched the entire client compliance video today. So
Okay,
Legendary
perfect.
Marketer just put out a compliance video. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, and I just finished watching the whole thing. So two things here. If you're going to be a successful marketer and a serious marketer and take this seriously, then guess what? Watch the compliance video. That's the first thing. And I will tell you that even if you're not going to promote Legendary Marketer, it's an amazing video to watch because the gentleman they brought on is he's a lawyer, he's a judge, he specializes in client compliance and affiliate compliance. And he is very closely tied to Onyx and Gall, who we know has had some FTC issues. I believe they're starting a podcast. And if they're not, they are very closely tied together. So this guy is becoming a major space in the industry. And the reason I liked watching it is because he really gave uh, preview of where the market's going. And the other cool thing is he works with a lot of big marketers who are obviously wary of the FTC and need to be compliant because they're doing millions and millions of dollars. So he actually has data driven evidence that shows what's working now and what's going to work. So maybe we'll jump into that. But yeah, legendary marketer. Let's get some dirt first, right? Give us the dirty details.
Now, wait, hold on. Just before that, just to add up to what you were saying, the guy that they hire is a lawyer, right? He specializes in digital marketing, compliance issues. So it's like, even if you're not gonna promote Legendary Marketer, you have to go watch that video because it's gonna help you with your digital marketing business and your
He's not
online
just a
business.
lawyer. He's a judge. He
Oh shit!
hears
So
cases.
he's
So
way
he
better.
presides over cases. So this guy is legit. And the other cool thing about him that I really liked him, he's a good marketer. When he gave his presentation, he delivered it like a webinar. It was really cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. So he has that experience and he's a marketer. I personally have not seen the training yet. I haven't had the time, but I will definitely watch it, just because it will help you, especially with every aspect of your business. But yeah, let's just get on some there, right?
Yeah. Let's
Uh,
get it. Let's get it juicy.
so I'm sure you guys might know, but there's a lot of affiliates that got an interesting email from the Indari marketer. Now, I myself and Brian have not gotten the email, but it doesn't mean that we're not gonna get it. Okay, guys. So we haven't gotten it yet. I don't know if they're doing batches or when they're releasing that to the other affiliates. I don't know if the affiliates that were not getting any traction got it first. You get me? Like I'm not really sure who got that email or how they're sending it out, but they got an interesting email saying that their affiliate account was terminated, basically, right? That's what it basically said. And then if you keep reading the email, there's a lot of like scary things that they kind of say, right? Like something they say something about you can't talk about legendary marketer anymore if you're not gonna be compliant. You can't show your awards from legendary marketer anymore because you're falsely advertising the company. And since you're doing these leading income claims, then it falls under their guidelines. So they have the right to basically sue you if they want to go that way, if you don't comply with their agreement. So that's basically what it said on the email. Your account is terminated. Here's some scary things, and they're just waiting to see who's gonna delete those videos or the screenshots or stuff like that. There's a lot of things that marketers have done over the years. So now it's just they have to go back and then check out all their content, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's what I don't understand yet because I'm not going to name any names, but I woke up this morning and logged on to Instagram or Facebook or one of the two, and I saw a past affiliate going on a little bit of a rant about how they were deactivated, and this person was pretty pissed off. And what I don't know, because I haven't seen this information, is everybody going through this process? Meaning, is every affiliate technically being deactivated and then needs to reapply? Because one thing that came up in the compliance video is that you will need to reapply and sign their compliance agreement. But once that goes through, all your stats will be the same. You'll see all the the same information on the dashboard. So I don't think we have an answer to that yet, but I am wondering if those affiliates who were deactivated, because once again, we have not received that email, if that's like
Mhm.
a final decision or if that's part of the process. Do you have any insight into that or not quite sure?
For what I understood from all the things that they were saying was the people that were not getting any traction, I guess you can say, or
Hmm.
people that haven't gotten any commissions in the past 90 days. I feel like those were the ones that were gonna go first,
Hmm.
right? But at the
Right.
same time, all these top affiliates got that email right now. And these are the top affiliates that are still getting commissions. You get me?
Hmm.
So I don't really understand how did they determine that, or if they all go taken down. Because, or maybe everybody needs to reapply to become an affiliate with the new affiliate terms, but not everybody got that email. So that email was specifically for people that are being deactivated because of compliance issues. You
Right. And
get
do you
me?
know when anybody received this email? Was it today? Was it yesterday? Was it?
No, I'm guessing it's been going on for a week already.
Okay. So I don't
Yeah.
know if they're doing it in batches. It is interesting though, because one thing that was stated in the compliance video was that they were actually deactivating their affiliate Facebook group and they were going to start from scratch, meaning,
Mm-hmm.
hey, if you were in the old one, that one's going to be deleted. And the only people in the new affiliate Facebook group for Legendary Marketer are going to be people who are re-invited after they're re-accepted. They're also deleting their email database for affiliates, meaning they're not going to they're not going to send out the same compliance emails and communication emails to everyone who's applied to be affiliate over the last 7 or 8 years. It's only going to be people who then become part or
Mm.
partner up with this new relaunch program. So yeah, I mean it is interesting because we haven't seen it. I can still log into my account. The compliance video is there to watch. I got the agreement which I could sign. So it leads me to believe that maybe they're taking a little bit harsher action with other people. But once again, like you said, it may be sent out in batches, and we just haven't. It hasn't been our turn in line yet. I don't really know. We're still kind of trying to piece all the information together. Um, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's a beautiful business model in the sense that you promote other people's products, make commissions, but there's also the very real possibility that programs get shut down, they change directions, and you're not invited to attend anymore. And regardless of whether this is just procedure or if they're choosing to eliminate some affiliates who may have misrepresented them in the past, the bottom line is the way you build security in this business is through authenticity. And the number one thing that still matters is your brand, the perception of you. Because you can promote a product and it could go sideways and it might not be your fault, or it could change and it might not be your fault. And guess what? If people were following you for you and your brand, then it doesn't matter. They'll follow you to the next thing.
Yeah, and following the rules, right? I feel like this episode is about following the rules, basically, you know? What was that program also? It was an affiliate program that shut down out of nowhere, I think it was. Lady Boss? Was that an affiliate program that was doing really big and then it kind of shut down when somebody bought it? I think
Yeah, I
something like
think
that
Russell
happened.
Brunson bought out Lady Boss, and they bottom line is they decided to close their business. I mean, they did $100 million plus, I believe, if, is what I've heard from her speaking on stage at Funnel Hacking Live,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just time to change directions. They've been putting their heart and soul into it for years. They wanted out, so that got shut down. I know there's been software that gets shut down. There's great marketers who they create great programs and then they want to do the next chapter of their life. So, and they're
Mm-hmm.
allowed to do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Someone that I've been following and have the utmost respect for is Alex Becker. And he's been in the game for a long time. And, he started off selling SEO services and stuff. And, what? Now he's doing Hyros AI tracking software for attribution for ads. And, it's just part of his evolution. And,
Yeah.
and you have to remember that the people who create these programs, they're allowed to evolve as well, right? They're allowed to choose their own path. And if they decide to shut down their affiliate program, then that's their right. And the bottom line though is if anybody's listening to this and is scared, it doesn't matter. I've promoted so many programs over the years, and it's all been based on, the trust, the know, like, and trust factor that I've built with my audience is why I've been able to sustain success. It has nothing to do long term with the program you're promoting. In the short term, yeah, it can be a little scary if something gets shut down or you get kicked out, right? It's good. It takes a little while to recover, but the bottom line is it's a non-issue.
Yeah, I mean, there's different scenarios, right? Somebody that is barely getting traction, right? And then it's getting all that money, that excitement in the beginning, and then it gets shut down. Then yeah, of course it's gonna be painful. You get me?
Yeah, of
But then
course.
somebody that's been doing it for many years, it's just like another program for us. You get me? So like we know we're already learning the skills, so we can implement them on the next chapter of our business. So it's
Yeah,
not that bad for us, I guess you can say.
yeah,
But
and I
beginner maybe.
yeah, 100%, and I have empathy for those folks. But guess what? It's all part of the process. It's like when you're getting started and you're busy and you got full-time job and kids and sports and all that stuff, and you're trying to build a side hustle. You're like, this is not fair. um, I'm so busy, I don't have a full time effort. Well, yeah, that's the reality of the situation. We've both been there. You got to find the time to get to the point where you can get yourself over the hump where you can put a full time effort into it. It's like you've said in the past, Andre. It's like planting a seed and watching a tree go. The first thing that happens is the taproot goes down. You have to go down before you go up. Life gets harder before it gets better. That's just the way it is, and we've all been through it. So we have empathy for you, but also not. At least I'm speaking for myself. Is yeah, no, I don't want to see you start to get traction and then have your program shut down. But man, that's the life of this business. It can be stressful. There's challenges, but it's risk reward or effort reward, right? If you're
Mhm.
willing to be the type of person who's willing to take those challenges head on and understand that there's always going to be challenges, then you're the type of person who deserve to get the rewards that sometimes we talk about and that our awards in the background signify and all those things. And it's part of the deal. If you want
Yeah.
if you want like, I just want to show up, do my work and make money, then go get a job.
Yeah. So now let's look at the positives, right? Because there's gotta be some positives out of this too at the same time. Before we move on to the next topic. Positives. I guess now since they're being so compliant, like weary, they're being aware of everything that's happening and basically laying down the hammer. This means that if you're an active affiliate and you get reapproved, that means you're doing things right. Just keep an eye on that. Like if you are promoting legendary marketer nowadays after being reapproved or whatever, that means that you are doing a great job. Okay, because are you following the rules? Maybe you're not doing the income claims that everybody's doing. Maybe you are learning the actual income, the high income skills to be a good marketer, copywriting, speaking in public, all of that can help you. So that's what I think one of the positives that I see, if you're still promoting legendary market, I feel like you're doing things right.
100%. And that's important. And that's what's interesting about the compliance webinar that I watched this morning is they talked about the gentleman who delivered a majority of the legal information. And he's a lawyer and a judge and an expert and has a lot of experience in this industry. And he really broke it down. Um, the opportunity, right? The positive of this whole thing. And basically what he says is, what are we providing and what type of client would be interested, right? That's the way you do marketing, the right message for the right person at the right time. That's marketing. So if you look at Legendary Marketer shifting to a very compliant marketing education program instead of a flash in the pan business opportunity, then who's going to want that? Well, quite simply, the person who's going to want quality education is someone who is, quite frankly, a better client anyways, meaning they aren't desperate folks who are willing to do anything to try to pull themselves out of a miserable situation. They are people who either have businesses or want to take this seriously, and they're willing to invest in education. And that's what it's all about is now you have the opportunity, if you're going to remain an affiliate for Legendary Marketer, to think about your messaging. What are they offering? What type of client would be interested? Great. Now, what do we need to say to attract that type of client? And what he said is there's a lot of uncertainty in this world. Businesses are getting shut down. Things are changing. There's inflation and people are looking for stability. So if you can market legendary marketers, not just another business opportunity that might be here for 8 months, but a stable company that's going to provide world-class education, then you're going to attract the type of people who are interested in stability, certainty, world-class education, learning the skills. And guess what? Those are the type of people who look at $2,500 and think, yeah, this is a steal, not
Yep.
$2,500. Am I going to invest my last $25 on a whim and a hope and a prayer? So there's an opportunity here to actually make your job easier by attracting the type of clientele who are more willing to invest because they understand the value.
It always blows my mind when we talk about like the high ticket price point, which is so little compared to that starting an actual business. It's so little, and then people are like, "There's no way I'm gonna spend that." You get me? But I'm like, okay, then go make a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like go
Yeah, $900,000
yeah,
later, you might be ready to start printing
go
menus, which cost $20,000.
exactly. Go buy your own car wash. Like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and we're not making fun of everybody. There's certainly been periods of my life, including when I started affiliate marketing, where I would have looked at $2,500 and been like, "Dude, I don't know, that's a lot of money." But you know what? When you say it like that, I mean, it is ridiculous that
yeah.
literally $2,500, some software that costs $30 a month, and you have yourself a business that can. This is not an income claim since we're being super compliant, but you have a business that can make $500,000 a year in profit. I mean, without employees.
Yep.
I'm
All
not saying that's
profit.
going to happen for everyone, but it's happened for me. So it's like that's crazy.
Exactly, exactly. It's just, different perspective, different way of thinking about money.
Yeah.
And then people will realize soon enough, that everything is going digital nowadays. So one last thought that I thought about legendary marketer, what about their closers? They're not gonna get much traction right now, right? So what about those people that are because they're getting paid commission, I don't know
Mhm.
if they pay hourly. I don't think they do. But you get me? Like they were hiring a lot of people because of the volume. So now I wonder what's happening with like the company side of it, right? Did he had to lay off people? I don't know. I haven't gotten a notice about that.
I mean, I don't know, but there's no way that, unfortunately, some closers they're going to have to look for other opportunities because like when we got started, Andre, we were at the upswing of the momentum. Not that they hadn't done well before us, but we were on the upswing of significant growth for them. And I think they've been on the Inc. 5000 list as like top 100 fastest growing private companies or something like that. And we were part of that, and we saw the growing pains associated with that. When I don't know exact numbers, but when I think we started, they might have had 20 to 30 BPAs, and they got overwhelmed with the amount of traffic that was being sent. So as a result, they hired more BPAs, and I don't
Hmm.
know if they got to 40, 50, 60, or 70. But the bottom line is traffic's going to go down. Big affiliates with big accounts are no longer sending traffic to them because they chose to change directions, or they are not invited back, or they switched offers. So the bottom line is I don't know that necessarily their sales will go down or their revenue will go down, um, because I think they will convert at a higher rate, but the sheer volume alone is going to go down. So what I anticipate is going to happen, and this is just a prediction, I have no insider information, is that the BPAs who do things the right way and are helping people and have maybe been established with the company, I think they will convert at a higher percentage rate. So they will make more money, but there will be less calls to go around, is the bottom
Hmm.
line. So I'm sure it could be one of those things where, hey, like, have you ever seen Office Space where Milton stops getting his paycheck? They're like, we fixed the glitch. And that might be what happens. The good BPAs who are getting 3 calls a day might convert 2 sales a day, which might mean 500 or $1,000 a day. The bad PBAs who are only getting 2 to 3 calls a day closing zero of them aren't going to make any money and the glitch will be fixed. They'll have to move on, you know. So I don't know how they're going to handle it, whether they're going to lay people off or break their contracts or whatever, you know, close their contracts or not extend their contracts. I have no idea how their back end system is set up with the BPAs. But the bottom line is, I think the good BPAs will do well, and they'll probably, like I said, convert at a higher rate, meaning less stress, less volume for the same amount of money, if not more. And then those who were relying on sheer volume, because I'm sure there were BPAs who were relying on sheer volume, just like I'm getting 12 calls a day.
Yeah.
Hell, three of them will buy because they're got so much FOMO. Well, that's a bad BPA, and I think they'll get weeded out either intentionally or naturally, one way or the other.
Yeah, that's. I mean, they were always hiring. You know, after we saw the growth trajectory, they were hiring a lot. Customer service too. You know, I wonder if also they got flooded by emails, probably by people affiliates. You know, hey, I can't log in. What's happening? You know, what about the money? You know, what about everything? You know, it's just a weird time, I guess you can say, for the
Yeah.
digital marketing world.
Yeah,
So now
digital
let's
marketing
just
is
move
always a
on.
weird time.
Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the next topic, right? You kind of teased it in the beginning when you did the introduction about, you know, not following the licensing agreement for some programs. So how about you let us know, you know, what's going on with that?
Yeah, so okay. We have master resell rights. And those who've been following the podcast know we've talked about this from time to time. We've interviewed the creators of one of the biggest, or at least one of the first to burst on the scene of recent times, Roadmap to Riches. We interviewed Zach and Hannah Pippins on the podcast in a previous episode. But basically, they created a course, right? They kind of were at the forefront of this new wave of master resale rights. I'm not saying they invented it, but they were at the forefront of the new wave. They created a course that teaches digital marketing, right? The basics, the foundations, and extends beyond that. Well, the unique thing about this, from a comparison to affiliate marketing standpoint, is when you bought this course, you got a license to resell it as well. Meaning you could take the course, you could use the modules in certain ways, and you could resell the course for 100% profit as long as you hit the minimum price point, which was $497. So, you know, they had lawyers draft up these resell rights to keep everybody on the same page. You know, you can't sell it for less than $497. You can't put it on auction sites. You can't, you know, modify the content and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And if you
you can't add it as a bonus,
right, right.
but you can add bonuses to it. Something like that
Right,
too, right?
right. So you can do all those things, but one of the biggest sticking points for the issue that we're going to talk about right now is you have to include the licensing agreement with your sale. You know what I mean? And that way everybody knows what's going on. And there is another program that incorporated some of the roadmap training or all of that into their rebranded program, which was compliant. However, I don't think they were including the licensing agreement, and it's getting a little messy.
Yep. So it comes down to, I think, utilizing the content, right? From one program for the other program, kind of rebranded it. And then the license agreement wasn't there for people to get it. Because I've seen a lot of shady things going on lately. Especially, I don't think they're following the procedures as far as
Yeah,
like getting all the payment plans ready to go and so you can get the resale rights. You get me? I feel like people are selling it for cheap and then reselling it right away too.
yeah. And I think, to be fair, you know, rebranding the content is not the issue. That was always allowed. You know, if
Hmm.
you want to buy into Roadmap to Riches and call it, you know, the MRR experience, which I did, or anything else, that's fine. But I think the real issue here is not following the letter of the law, so to speak, meaning they are not including their licensing agreement in the package that they're selling, which is a direct violation of the licensing agreement. So this other company has become fairly significant, and or this other brand has become fairly significant, and from what I understand is they are not including their licensing agreement. And I think that the creator of this program just really didn't understand all the compliance that needed to be in place, and even maybe kind of self-incriminated herself on social media. So, now it's become a thing, right? Is
Mhm.
quite frankly the easiest way to say it. Now it's a thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just getting messy, at least with the MRR things, you know? And also because first of all, you have to buy it to resell it. You get me? That sounds a little sketchy already. You know, you can become an affiliate for any company. You don't have to buy the products to become an affiliate. But in this case, you need to buy the product in order to resell it. So it kind of really looks, it sounds kind of sketchy. I guess that business model already, you know? And then, yeah, I mean, no following those procedures, right? The law, you know, the resale rights, the licensing agreement. You know, I just feel like you can't just be like, oh, I didn't know. You get me? Like if you are the head of your program, you have to know all of this. It's the same with us. You know, we have income claim disclosure, we have earning disclosures, we have affiliate agreements. Like all of this, nobody showed us. Like we kind of learn as we go. You know that we actually needed those things. But I guess this person, I guess she didn't do her homework. You know, I would love to interview her actually if we can get a hold of her.
We
I think
should
she'll be like
interview
a good
her.
one to
Yeah,
see
I
her
think that
side
would
of the
be great.
story.
Yeah, absolutely. Give her a platform. Not saying we agree or disagree with her, but just give her a platform because that's what this is all about. We can have conversations with people, and I don't know her at all. So I can't say whether I agree with her or
Mm.
disagree with her. But I could say, regardless, I could have a conversation with her, even if I don't agree with her or if I do agree with her, right? Like that's a mature adult, someone who can have a conversation with somebody that they disagree with in order to get more information, right? I think Joe Rogan's podcast is a perfect example of that. I don't think he agrees with everybody he brings on, but he has a good conversation. He asks questions, and he just tries to learn. So I think that would be cool. But you're right. Um, you can't just say I didn't know. And it's not to scare anybody because guess what? You'll make mistakes. You'll do stuff you weren't supposed to do unintentionally, probably if you do this because it's a business. And that's what people have to understand is this whole digital marketing, affiliate marketing thing, it's not some back alley business deal anymore. It's a legit business. It's you know, like one of my favorite movies is Almost Famous. Have you ever seen it, Andre?
Almost famous?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, it's
I'm
written
really bad at names, so I don't
No,
know.
it's written by Cameron Crowe, and it kind of loosely depicts his early life as a rock journalist. And he goes on the road and gets set up to do an article on Stillwater, which is the up and coming band. And one point in the movie, a T-shirt comes in, and the band members are pissed off because only the guitarist is in the front. And everybody's kind of out of focus and blurry. And what they talked about is how it was spinning out of control. And Jason Lee, who's the lead singer, says, "Hey, you wanted to pretend that this isn't a big band, but it is a big band, right? They were becoming a big deal, and they were just treating it like they were just still some garage band working gigs. You know what I mean
Mm.
with their management, and that's kind of the same way that affiliate marketing is it's evolved into a legitimate multi-billion dollar business. So that's great. That's really cool. But also, like, treat it with respect and, do your best to follow the compliance laws, stay ethical, stay authentic, know the rules, know the laws, know what you're allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do, because this is legitimate now, right? This is a legitimate way. And the good thing about that is you can go into this business and know that you have security, right? And because that's always been my biggest thing. So yeah, I think that back to this issue, it's a thing.
Yeah. So these two programs, I guess they're going through a little legal, you know, fight, a legal dispute, I guess you can call it. You know, they both have lawyers on each side of it. They're gonna figure it out. You get me? But now the other thing is that they have gotten reported to the FTC as well. You get me? So now, and like, keep in mind, these companies are making millions of dollars. Okay, like they're making a lot of money. I think the person that created this program has made over 3 million. The program itself has made 15 million. So once you get to those big numbers, then more people are gonna take a look at your business, right? More like officers of the law, I guess you can say,
Yeah, regulating governing bodies or.
Exactly. Exactly. So they're gonna take a look at your business. You have a business that is doing 6 figures a year. They probably won't look at you that much. You get me? But if you're making 15 million and a bunch of people are getting results and it gets a lot, right? It gets a little more tricky. So I mean, at the same time, if you're making that much money, if your program is making that much money, you should have the money to back it up and make it compliance. You get me? Like if you get to that point, you know, we we're getting a bunch of people here, that they're making a lot of money, but they're doing things right. Some we might not agree with them. Just how you say, this is the outlet to have a conversation with anybody. Because it doesn't mean that we liked all of our guests in the past. You get me? But we're here having a conversation with them.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. Just trying to bring information because it is a big business. And one of the things that I've always been very passionate about is protecting the affiliate marketing industry
Yeah.
because it changed my life. And I had a conversation about this with Doug Boughton probably 3, 4, 5 years ago. It's important to protect the industry if you're in a place of leadership because let's look at this other program, which I don't think we've mentioned the name and I don't think we're going to. You can probably figure it out. But the bottom line is I think the Pippins with Roadmap to Riches, the reason that they are taking legal action is because they want to protect the integrity of the industry that they helped reestablish. And when someone comes in and treats it like a money grab, it harms the industry and
Yep.
there's trickle down effect. It harms the people who buy into the industry, right? Because if you've purchased a program that it could be a different master resale rights program that was fly by night or was not put together with integrity, there's going to be people who make a lot of money, but there's going to be people who lose a lot of money as well because they bought into something that's not resellable or they bought into something that was packaged sexy but really has little value. And I'm not speaking of the one specifically, but just any master resale rights product in general. When a term like that kicks off, there's going to be people who run to it, right? There's other master resale rights programs out there now. It's become a big thing
Mm-hmm.
because it's popular, because that's where the attention is. So I think they're just trying to protect what they've built in their original vision. And so, that's great. And I'm sure they'd rather not deal with all the legal nonsense. But that once again, it's part of business. This is a pretty big band now. You know what I mean? It's significant.
Yeah, and like you said, there's a lot of MRR courses now out there. Um, I think UBC, DWA, Roadmap, but Roadmap is the one that, painted the way, I guess you can say. We had Hannah and Zach, great people to talk to. Um, and the thing is that they had a vision. You get
Mhm.
me? Right when we talked to them, I saw a couple, but I saw the vision that they had. They want to be here for the long run type of situation. You get me? And they've been, I think they're on roadmap 3.0, I think, right now. So they keep updating it and making changes to make it better, and
Yeah.
that's how you can tell that, they're here to stay probably.
And this is a great opportunity, I think, to talk about one of the things I love talking about and love teaching is what's the pattern here, right? And it's all the same thing. It's the most important thing is your brand, your intentions, your integrity, because we had Zach and Hannah on. That's why I sell it. Hey, if you want to do Roadmap to Riches, do it this way. Or if you want to do MRR, do it this way. And I chose Roadmap because of XYZ. And it has nothing to do with the education in there. And that's what I want to be clear about. It has everything to do with the people who backed it up, the people who created it. So if you're out there promoting a master resale rights program, and even if you're promoting a master resale rights program that is involved in legal issues and may be in the wrong, it's okay because it's all about you, right? And that's what people need to understand. It's about you. People buy into you. They take your recommendation because of you. And that's how you build a long-term sustainable business is have people buy you, even if it's a different product that you're selling.
Yeah. And then as far as like the legal side of it, like if it comes to the worst, what do you think is gonna happen, with these two programs? You think one of them will have to shut down if it gets to that point, or just make it compliance? You get me? Like, what's the goal? Once you bring lawyers in, what's the goal? To like shut them down or to, work together? You get me?
Yeah, once the lawyers get there, the goal is money. Someone's got to pay something. I mean, that's
Yeah,
why the
right.
lawyers are there. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm not saying lawyers are scumbags or anything like that. They're just people who are upholding the law and they do a lot of good and maybe some not so good. I don't know. But the bottom line is that once, someone's got to pay, right? Because there has to be closure. There has
Mm-hmm.
to be a statement made. There has to be something. And I think one thing that the legendary marketer compliance video who had the lawyer and judge on there is one thing that typically happens almost always is assets are frozen, meaning, courses are locked, payments can't be taken. And I understand master resale rights is a little bit unique in the sense that everybody has their own payment processor. Um, but what's the incentive of a creator to keep going if A, they're embattled in legal trouble, and B, they can't make any more money, right? And that's what comes down. Like he said, it gets to the point where everything is locked, all assets are frozen, bank accounts, to the point where while you're in this case, you got to get some sort of stipend from the FTC just to pay your minimum viable expenses, and that doesn't include your $10,000 a month mortgage or anything like that. So those things end up getting sold off, and then those assets get frozen, and it's really messy. And it's just part of the proof that hey, compliance is a big deal, and it's not something to be scared of is the other thing because you don't need to make crazy income claims.
Mm-hmm.
You can still talk about the results you've gotten as long as you don't imply that they're average or typical and you don't make things up. Like if you can document through Stripe transactions or affiliate commissions that you made $10,000 last month and it was your third month, and while that may not be typical, that is my result. Then you're in a situation where you're more compliant than not. Remember, I'm not a legal counselor here. I have no
Yeah.
legal experience, but you're actually, if you're towing the line, you're maybe shifted towards the compliance side. If you can back it up with written proof, documentation, and you're not implying that those results are typical.
Yeah, you can prove that the income you've made is the actual income from the thing that you're promoting. You get me? A lot of people realize, yeah, I made 10K a month. That's why I start this course. But at the same time, that's those 10K a month was probably a bunch of different programs, a bunch of different products that you're promoting. And that's when it gets misleading. You get me? So if you
Mhm.
can tell them I made 2,500 from this program, that's all you can talk about. You get me? Because you're promoting that program. But if you make extra money on the side, you might not combine it. You get me? And make it seem like, okay, this one program got me all that money. Right? So it's like you gotta find ways to like, I guess, talk about, your earnings. Because I know you can talk about your earnings, everybody does it. And it's public information too, for big companies as well. You know how much money they're making. You get me? So I don't know. You have to just play with it.
Yeah, and it's not one of those things where you can't just put a disclaimer on the bottom of your website saying these results are
Mm-hmm.
not typical. You got to let people understand. But that was the point, I made earlier is like, okay, let's talk about that. If you say, hey, guess what? This is a real legitimate way to start learning skills that can over time provide you with an opportunity to sell stuff online. That's exactly what it is. So
Yeah.
who's going to be interested in that? People who are serious about selling stuff online. You attract a better clientele. Alex Hermosi, who everybody pretty much knows because he's pretty big in the content game now, he's the one who gave me permission to sell with logic versus just selling with an emotional sales pitch. When you sell with logic, meaning here are the facts, here's why you want it, here's what it can help you do, you attract a better standard of client, meaning someone who's thinking through this and saying, yes, I want to do this. Let's go forward. Now, the alternative is pure emotional based selling, which obviously works, But now you're getting to a situation where you're bringing people in who are not making rational decisions. They're just like, yep, okay, they're telling me I make $10,000 a month. If I put $2,500 here, that seems like a great return on investment. So I'm going to do it. Well, guess what? Those are the type of clients who end up getting pissed off and asking for refunds anyways. Because
Hmm.
once they think about it and sleep on it and sit there in the light of day and get that informed pessimism where they're like, oh, this is a lot of work, that's when they shoot straight to the refund because that's another emotional response. Right. So, it's okay to sell with logic. Sure, you want to use marketing techniques and strategies, but it's okay. And a lot of times you get a better clientele. Like I love my group, my the group that I mentor. I love the
Yep.
people who come on that call, and it's great. Can you imagine how miserable my life would be if I attracted a bunch of emotional assholes in there? You know what I mean? It would just be I'd just be attacked all day long. But these are people who are serious about learning the skills and
Yeah.
learning how to build an audience. So it's a lot of fun.
And it comes down to your messaging, you don't want a fucking bunch of people that have a bunch of opinions on your call.
Time for
Those are
that shit,
horrible.
man.
I'm like, just sit down and be quiet and learn.
If you have a question that's
But
relevant to what I'm talking about, please,
yeah,
by all means, interrupt me and let's get into it because we'll all learn something. But
exactly. Last thought, right before we finish the interview, I think we have like 15 minutes left. Um, Legendary marketer, at least they teach you to have an actual business. For example, get your LLC. You get me? Actually have an actual business. Like all these companies or like MRR stuff, I haven't seen them talk about LLCs or like, you get me? Like I know you kind of have to, or you kind of maybe know, or maybe you don't know, because I didn't know I needed an LLC back then. But at least that's like an insurance for yourself, for your entity. So if you ever get sued in the future, you know, everything to the business will probably get frozen, yeah, but not your personal stuff. So you'll be protected as well. So that's another thing that, as far as the legal side of it.
yeah, to some degree, definitely. I've always been in the, you know, camp that, if you're the type of person who wants to go out and start an LLC, then great, do it. There's no reason not to run everything through your LLC. But I'm also in the camp of don't worry about problems that don't exist. Yeah, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So like I started affiliate marketing with my social security number and you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like this is once again not legal advice, but you know, I think there are situations where folks tend to worry about too much before it's even relevant. Like
Yep.
they haven't even made money yet and they're asking me what to do about taxes. Just you don't have any money yet.
Yeah.
There's no taxes to be paid. So just like chill. Like how do you pay tax? You pay taxes. I mean that
Yeah.
it's that simple. You know what I mean? But like
Uh,
don't worry about it. Like if you hadn't even learned how to build a funnel yet, like don't worry about taxes. You got a way to go, homie. You know what I mean? Just like,
yeah. The
and then
one
when
the
it
one that I get the one that I get a lot is the PayPal would charge me fees to take out the money. I'm like, why you worry about that right now if you haven't even made a dollar? Like those fees will pay by itself. You get me? They'll get paid by on its own. You don't have to worry about those fees.
yeah.
You'll make enough money for those fees not to be relevant.
It and it is. I mean it kind of highlights a serious issue, which is this scarcity mindset. Like, I mean, I've probably paid 30, 40,000 dollars in credit card processing fees, maybe more. I don't know. You know what I mean? Do
Yep.
I care about that? No. Like people are, like my autoresponder, like how much is it? I don't know. I mean, there's
Yeah.
been periods where I've paid $1,700 a month for my autoresponder. Do I care? No, because it's a cost of doing business. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
Um,
even know how much Stripe is taking, what percentage Stripe is taking right now out of my
yeah,
business. You get me? Because
yeah,
every time they have a new suggestion, I always say yes, yes, yes.
yeah. You're paying 8.5%. No, it's probably, I think it's the base is 30 cents per transaction plus 2.9%. But yeah, if you add, radar and all that stuff that they offer,
Yep.
that's another zero point 0.1 percentage point. So, I mean, I'm sure you're sub 4, but you may be in the 3.2% range if you're taking all the add-ons. I don't know. But the point is like I mean, it's cost of doing business. You can't get the
Yeah.
money without that expense. You know what I mean? So, will you pay 3 cents to get a dollar? Yeah, I'll pay 3 cents to get a dollar all day long. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's why I didn't worry about it. I started with my social security too. My first full year, I made a shitload of money and I used my social security, because I just didn't know any better. But then after that, I learned, and then my second year, I learned from it. My third year, I learned more from it, even more, so it's just getting better and better as far as just doing, the taxes and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's a part of the process, man. I mean,
Exactly.
it's part of the process. So like, don't get stressed out about the content because that's just like a tiny like. Imagine if content was your biggest stressor today, Andre.
I know.
Like I don't even think about
It
content.
is,
It's just
Brian.
like,
It is.
yeah. Sometimes it is. It's like, oh shit, I got to create another video. What the hell do I say? But the bottom line is it's just like, dude, it's not for everybody, I guess, is the bottom line. You know what I mean? But the reward is so huge. That's why it's worth it. And that's why I was, so scared to create the content and do all these things. And it's like, you know what? The reward is worth it. So I'm willing to do that. It's like choose your pain, right? You think this is going to be hard. Imagine working every day for the next 40 years for some boss you hate or whatever. Yeah, that sounds pretty painful too.
Yeah, that's more painful for sure.
Yeah.
All right, so now okay, I guess the last topic, I guess to finish up. What should people promoting those products that are going through legal stuff do? You get me?
Mm,
Should they look for a new
mm,
offer? Should they
mm,
still talk about that product that you don't even know what's gonna happen in the
mm.
future? Maybe you're a person that doesn't give a shit and just wants to make a quick buck and is still gonna ride the wave until it's gone. You get me? So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, I can speak from a roadmap standpoint because I have it as part of my offer, and we've talked about this on past episodes. It's not my main offer. It's just I offer supplemental training and material, which ultimately the main goal is to lead people into my mentorship program. This is just
Yep.
kind of a new front door, a different front door. Get people who are interested in MRR buying stuff from me so they buy into my mentorship program. That's the main goal. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this as like Roadmap's doing the best they can. They're good people with good intentions. I'm going to stick with them, especially while people are interested. And I'm also in the camp that if it gets shut down, I'll just remove it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like no big deal. Now, if I have a bad feeling about the one I'm promoting, and I'm not saying anyone should, I don't know the details, but if I had a bad feeling about something I was promoting, like, oh, they might be in the wrong, then I would cut bait. I really would because at the end of the day, what matters long term is your business and your brand.
Your brand, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, let's say you've got program B that I'm not sure if they're doing this above the board or by the book. And then you got program A that's like, yeah, they're good. Or at least I think they are. You promote program A, you make $10,000. You promote program B, you make $15,000. But 2 months later or 6 months down the road, everyone who followed you because you were selling program B thinks, oh, this person was associated with a bunch of crap that screwed me. Now you make no more money. Program A made you a little bit less upfront, but your audience is like, oh, we kind of went through this together. We both thought things were going to be good. Then they'll buy stuff from you in the future and they'll continue to follow you. So it's a personal decision. Um, I think the best thing is never sacrifice for short term gain because two things. A, that $5,000 you might make is not a lot of money in the long run. And B, the only thing worse than never making money online is making money online and not being able to repeat it. Right. If you go out there and make $20,000, that might feel great this month, but guess what? That's going to be gone. You're going to
Hmm.
spend it. Or if you pay down your debt, guess what? When there's no more money coming in, what's going to happen? You're going to rack your debt up again and you'll be right. So the most important thing is the audience and the people. So just make the right decision based on your information that has the interests of your audience in mind. And I think if you follow that advice, I think you're good to go. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's all about the brand, right? I always tell people, don't promote something that you haven't done yourself. Don't promote something that you don't really like. right? I promoted programs that were okay, they were decent, and then they became bad, and then I stopped promoting them. You get me? So you can either ride the wave, see what's gonna happen. Um, but if you don't identify yourself with, the program or its values, how is the messaging that is happening with the program, you can jump ship. You can just stop promoting them. And look, there's multiple offers out there where you can choose from.
Yeah, and I think that's important to it goes back to the whole worrying about credit card processing fees and taxes before you've made a dollar. You can't control everything.
Hmm.
So don't let it keep you from moving forward because you never know what's going to happen, right? You can't control it. If you had good intentions and you thought you saw something that you went through that could help other people, and guess what? It turns out that, they, murdered their family. You didn't have, it's not your fault.
Yeah.
So you don't worry about it. Like, don't let it stop you from jumping on an opportunity because it might not go well. Guess what? Everything might not go well.
It's like that guy that went on the Super Bowl and then he murdered two people before. You got me? I think it was Aaron something. Have you seen it, right? You know that
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, just like that. You never know what's gonna happen. But it's like you just be ready for those things that you can't control that will happen, and then just make a decision there.
And it's like we were talking about with the BPAs. Like, if your company grows and you got to hire a bunch of people to represent you, guess what? Some of those employees will be shitty. You can't control it. You can do your best
Mm-hmm.
to vet people and hire them and call references. And I mean, we saw in the restaurant industry all the time. We get these people who are think, hey, they look good on paper, they got good references, let's hire them. And then you realize the reference was their girlfriend. Their resume is falsified, and they really just wanted to come in and steal shit from you, right? Like, guess what? That's part of business, man. It happes. You know what I
The
mean?
job
And
job experience is the probation officer.
yeah, man. I sometimes I miss working in the restaurant industry. Like, I don't want to go back because I'm too old to do it. But man, it was fun at times. I mean, we always die, but it was a fun industry to be in.
It was entertaining, I guess you can say it.
That's a
But
better way to say it.
yeah, it was entertaining for sure. You can always get like a positive out of every situation, but oh, it's so sucking. Like
And that's why we're successful, Andre, because we got our backs against the wall, man. We were like, fuck this. I am not doing this shit anymore.
like I wish I had a corporate job. I wish I sat in an office. I went to meetings. I went. Like I wish I did go
Put
to
me on a
like
Zoom call, man. Just for Christ's sake. It's just it.
exactly.
Oh man,
I can
restaurant.
move my I can move my mouse every 5 seconds.
I mean, this seriously. Oh, what a life. All right. Well, I got nothing else, Andre. I think we had a good
I think that's
episode
it.
here today.
Yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Evolve Marketing Podcast.